Good evening, everyone. I know I'm like super duper early, but this is something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. It stems from things that I noticed happening in my childhood to young adulthood, as a young mother, and even as I became a more experienced mom, and now as a grandmother myself. And that is suicide of young boys um, and men, whereas the parents play a role in that. And no, this is not going to come off as a parenting bashing type video, but it's going to try to come off as a parenting educating type video. A lot of boys, from the time they're little, are told that they shouldn't have feelings by not strangers but their own parents. And I'm going to really be focused this time on moms, because a lot of times we will browbeat and bash dads, but moms, I've been seeing, play quite a bigger role in that as well. Boys, whether you have a brother and sister, the sister can be 8. The little brother could be 6. But let's say they both were riding their bikes, they both fall, they both have injuries. The girl will be coddled and pampered, and the boy will be told to stop crying, toughen up, man up, suck it up, stop crying like a girl. So when I was little and I would see this kind of thing, but it never happened to my brother, but I would see it with other brothers and sisters or boys and girls, I used to think to myself, are boys physically, like their skin is harder than girls or something? I didn't know. And what we're teaching our children, boys and girls, is that boys are not supposed to feel. So if he cries or have any emotions at all, he's looked as weak. So therefore he thinks he's a failure. And girls will go into women, and if they see a man cry, they will look at him as weak. So we're teaching both of our children that men aren't supposed to cry, boys aren't supposed to cry. And then the unfortunate thing is we put these serious standards on them to be these great accomplishers of things that we want them to be. Yeah. We overload our children with the things that we want. You better make an A or I'm going to beat you. You better make an A, nothing less than a B. And we put these high standards on these children, and especially boys. We want them to be athletes. We want them to be tough. And most of you all want them playing dangerous sports like football. Things where people literally get physically hurt. So you want to groom them into savages. You want to groom them into kill, this is the enemy. And then you wonder, why do they grow up and have such conflict within themselves as men? And you moms too, you football moms too, y'all the same way. Yeah, you are. And we're going to get into these emotionally unavailable mothers. Some of your moms have absolutely no regard for your son's feelings whatsoever. If your son cries, you're irritated. If your son feels heartbreak, he needs to suck it up. There are plenty of girls out there. You have no compassion. If your son feels fear, boy, you better straighten it up. You better toughen up. What are you scared of? His fear irritates you, annoys you. His tears frustrate you. Oh, my nose, there's bugs. But let that man come in the house and he boo-hoo crying. You're going to be, come on, baby, what's wrong with you? Blah, blah, blah. But your son needs to lay his head in your lap. He needs you to wipe his tears away. He needs you to let him know that it's going to be okay. But even you moms are like that. I've witnessed it too many times. I've seen it within my own family. with the moms of my grandchildren. And God forbid the boy should look like his father. Oh, child, please. Anything he say or do just aggravates your soul. But let your daughter feel fear, heartbreak, loneliness. You're right there to pamper her, wipe her tears away, give her lots of encouragement, hugs and kisses. There are times I've seen boys that have never been hugged or kissed by their mother once they got to a certain age. Those children are babies. When a boy and a girl are born, same age, they're both coddled and pampered, right? You look after their needs, their emotional needs and everything. Because if you didn't, then they would fail to thrive. You don't just take the boy, or you're crying and just toss him to the side and say, figure out how to feed yourself. But when a boy starts to begin to toddle around and as he begins to get up in age, I notice you moms really stop the nurturing process with your sons. You hold on to that and only shower it on your daughters. That causes resentment too amongst siblings. Because the boy then resents the affection that his sisters get. That's not all the time, but in a lot of cases, yes, it is. Unemotionally unavailable mothers need to really take a look at themselves. Because you do a lot of damage to your sons as well. You can't heap that all on these fathers. Because many of your emotional affect is so bland. You need to be purposeful in loving your son, in hugging your son, in kissing your son. And many of you all are physically home, but you're not physically there because you're holed up in a room. Locked on the internet, locked on talking to your friends or whoever. And don't tell me because you buy him clothes and shoes. First of all, the stuff that you buy children, they really don't even want. Children don't know nothing about Michael Jordan and all these labels. You do. And that is for appearance sake, to make it look like you're a good mom. And not to say that not buying them clothes doesn't mean that you are a good mom. But there's more to being a good mother than buying clothes. Children need to feel wanted. Boys do. There was a rapper. He committed suicide because he broke up with his girlfriend. And everybody kept saying, oh, he should have came to me and spoke to me about it. But how many people did he probably try to talk to about that? And how many people shunned his feelings? How many people was like, oh man, get over her. There are plenty of other women out there. But he didn't want other women. He wanted her. And after all of that was said and done and he killed himself, now what? A lot of these children, these little boys can't talk to you moms. Y'all don't care. Because that's intruding on your idea of the perfect son. Where did you get these ideas from? Probably from your father or mother. Or even just your personality. My sons are 31 and 32. And they can lay on my lap at any time. Lay their head on my shoulder and they know it. They can lay on my bed and they know it. And they both know that at 31 and 32. And they are no less of a man because they cry. Because they feel. Feelings are not gender specific. Boys and men feel emotions with the same intensity that girls and women do. Men feel heartbreak, disappointment, loneliness, and fear. Boys feel that. The number one man in your life is not your husband or your father. It is your son. Your baby needs you. At the ages of 31 and 32, my sons are still my babies. Period. Yes, they're adults. And when they turn 61 and 62 and I'm 82, they're still going to be my babies. And if they need to come over and talk to their mom about something that's really hurting their feelings, they need to lay their head in my lap and cry, I'm going to be right there. Put your head right here and I will stroke their hair. They can fall asleep right there. They can lay their head on my shoulder. Why? Because at the end of the day, they're still my babies. Some of you moms do a lot of emotional damage to your sons, and you wonder why they don't want to talk to you. You're not approachable. They lie to you because they know you don't want to hear the truth. The people you like, you try to force upon them. They have a right to say no. Stop forcing these children around people they don't want to be around. They have a say in their own life. Yes, they do. They're not mechanisms to be controlled by your ideas of perfectionism. You're not perfect either. And if you know that you have difficulty with showing affection to your children, then you need to be mindful and purposeful in showing your son love and affection. I will accept nothing less than. Because if you're able to show all of that to your daughter, that means it's already in you. For some reason, you're holding it away from your son. They're not warriors. They're not little soldiers. They're babies. Period. Y'all need to stop it. Because one thing I'm sick and tired of is watching little boys hurting with no one there to care about their feelings. I'm sick and tired of little boys being in so much pain that they are even researching how to kill themselves. I'm sick of little boys killing themselves. I'm sick of men killing themselves. And do you know what? Women try to commit suicide more, but men are actually more likely to be successful at killing themselves because they pick the most dangerous way to do it, that they know they're going to be successful at and get results. Fact. Stop heaping all of this nonsense on little boys and let them be children. Let them be children. Let them hold on to their innocence the way you let your daughters hold on to their innocence. I am so tired of boys being emotionally beat down. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of these babies hurting so badly because no one cares. And no, you don't care. Nope, I said it. You don't care. Because let them try to tell you something about somebody you like. Oh, that person couldn't have did that. Yeah, they did it. Why do you think little boys be getting molested and don't tell nobody? Why do you think a lot of them get bullied and don't tell nobody? Because you don't care. And they know it. Which brings me to my quote that is the most cherished quote to me. Let's raise children who don't have to recover from their childhood. I hope you all have a good night and an even better week. Love you.